Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. So my Patreon subscribers, welcome back. So for today's video, we're going to be talking about the coup and when it's going to end. That will be the second part of this video. The first part of this video, we're going to be talking about the outcome that I saw going into the election and how it was going to play out and the likely pathway for Donald Trump to become the 47th President of the United States. I found it to be really informative and very important for us to really talk about, which is why I'm going to be talking about that in today's video. I would actually show you clips, a little excerpt from these videos, which you can find the full video link in the description below. I actually happened to come across it randomly. I was really searching for the video, the original video where it all started, where this idea came in. And so I want to be able to show you exactly the energy and the outcome that was I saw from the past, and it might be able to give us a more of a deeper clue and understanding about where we are now and where we are heading towards currently. And I took upon myself to write down new interpretations about what I got. Yes, this is my handwriting. I do write like the founding fathers, but essentially I took down and wrote down new interpretations of what I feel is what I meant to say, because I always say this all the time, even on this channel, that the tarot card readers are always wrong. It's never the card that's wrong. So you'll see in full daylight in this clip that I'm about to show you. You'll see how the tarot card readers and the tarot cards are completely right. It's the interpretation that is incorrect, because basically how we do our interpretation with the tarot cards is we take what our past experiences, something that we are familiar with, and we apply it to the cards. But it's hard to really know what the card is referring to 100% with 100% accuracy unless you have prior knowledge and experience with them. So just take it with a grain of salt, but it is pretty informative. I highly think you guys are going to like it. This video in particular is being recorded on none other than Saturday, February the 8th at 2:24 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Eastern Standard Time. So yes, I am recording it very past midnight, but I want to make sure I got this video out and recorded for you guys just so you have some content to go and watch. Alright, so let's begin. I'm not going to waste your time. If you want to help out the channel grow, you can do so by liking, subscribing, hitting the bell icon, and commenting in the comment section below, and also engage with the content by watching the video longer than normal. It tells the algorithm, hey, I like this content, show me more. And it also shows you other second tarot card readers and astrologers as well. So it helps me, helps you, helps everybody. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin. We have a lot to get through today. So I'll see you in a minute. Enjoy.
So again, everything will be timestamped in the description below if you want to jump to certain parts of today's video. If you have questions, feel free to put them in a live chat or in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you think Donald Trump is going to become president or not? And we will be doing an evaluation on Marie's table specific question as well. Oh, you said it's 11:11? Thank you, Katie. Love ya. So let's take a look. When did that 11:11 come about? Oh, it is 11:11 now. Okay. Well, did not know that. Thank you. It is theoretically possible that Trump could become president again. Let's ask the question. Let's ask the cards. Is it theoretically possible that Trump could become president of the United States again? And by that, I mean the 47th president. And I had covered extensively why he will be considered the 47th president and not the 45th. That is because of Grover Cleveland. I highly recommend you check out why Grover Cleveland and Donald Trump are very closely tied in terms of historical perspectives. Okay. If you have not known, Grover Cleveland was a Democrat, actually, a president who won his first election, lost the second one, then won the third election. So he almost lost re-election the first time, but won the second time. Kind of similar to the way that Donald Trump may become president this way, right? Hi, Highway 138. We have the Queen of Swords here. And the Queen of Swords here kind of talking about Nancy Pelosi. And Nancy Pelosi card normally comes up. This is the Biden and Harris administration. In order for this outcome to become a fruition, a common reality, he needs to remove the obstacle. And the obstacle is Kamala Harris and Biden. That's the obstacle here. Now, if he was to theoretically run just to become president again on the re-election, he will not win if it was Biden and Harris. However, if Biden and Harris somehow, in some way, are removed, and by that I mean removed, there's a possibility that he can become president just under by unnatural circumstances. Now, I'm saying that, you know, unnatural circumstances, like, foreign interference, foreign meddling, those type of things. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to more just natural, like the way the country's voting without any sort of influences of any kind, right? No puppeteering, right? We have the reverse side of the story. And the reverse side of the story is kind of telling me here that in order for this outcome to happen, naturally speaking, the Democratic Party will have to give up everything. As you all know, the Democrats, I mean, they're going to have to give a good fight, but I don't think they're willing to give up. I don't mean it. I don't think they're going to have to concede. And by concede, I don't mean like they basically forfeit before the election even happens. Right? I don't see that outcome here. However, that's one outcome where, in this reality here, if things were natural, the Democrats would probably be doing so poorly that Trump will just automatically become president without an election. I don't see that here, but this is the outcome. So we'll just read it on a multiverse here, okay? We have here the Hierophant, and the Hierophant is the powerhouse, the government. In order for that to happen, Biden and Kamala Harris cannot be a part of the governmental power, maybe the established Democrats potentially. And we have here, they're going to have to put up a fight. So regardless of what it is, the Democrats here are not going to forfeit the election to Trump. Potentially, what they could be very well hinting at is that Donald Trump is trying to seize power by forcing the Democratic Party to give up theirs. It could very well end up like a coup. This could be what the card is referring to. That is it possible that Trump could become president again? Maybe not, might not hinting at an election, but might be very well hinting at a coup. And I mean that very literal sense. To think about it here, right? We had the forfeit card. The Democratic Party do not want to forfeit. But somehow, in some way, in order for him to become president, Kamala Harris and Biden need to be removed. Right? That would be create a vacant hole. In that case, it will be filled by the fighting party, right? And in this case, it's very well possible this could be a coup. Is this a coup? Yes. Okay. The double card comes up. So yeah, it's likely in this outcome, if one of these outcomes, he will have to do a coup. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. Again, this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm not responsible for anything in this video here. I am not pushing for any sort of narrative, YouTube, and I'm just exploring the multiverse here. Potential outcomes only. Okay. Let's see. Hello, Antonia. How are you, love? Yes. Okay. So speaking of that, I do want to hint on that before. Okay. So you may have remembered if you were with me a long time ago. I have said a while back that I kept seeing a young woman, a Democrat, right? A young Democrat coming through who was almost like in some way is tied to Russia. We thought this was Tulsi Gabbard. Could very well be her. She gives the energy of a lesbian. This person, the lesbian type energy, very progressive. But the person is really not progressive. They just give off energy and tell people that they're progressive, so they win the parts and soul of the Democratic Party. And what I ended up seeing that kind of like almost like it's a mirror image. So the Republican Party is a lot easier to take control of. But when it comes to the Democratic Party, you kind of have to put up an image, a fake image, a facade. And so in that case, what I saw was this person going to be look like a lesbian, have masculine energy, more masculine energy than feminine, but is a woman indeed. Or it could be trans, by the way. That's possible as well. So it will appear like that person, and it's a woman, by the way. It almost feels like in some way, in some form, people will not believe their eyes or ever suspect her of being a spy or some sort of criminal and be worse than Trump. But this individual, what I saw, would be 10 times worse than Trump or will make Trump look like a cakewalk. Is it theoretically possible that Trump could just beat a woman? Could be very well that a woman is just a reimagined version of him because he's more masculine, but takes on the feminine side. Because you think about it, Trump takes estrogen. He had long hair. That's estrogen, right? Very well be that Donald Trump could just very well be that individual. Well, he may appear at some point progressive, but he's really not, if that makes any sense. And then he wants power and control very similar to that woman. So I wanted to bring that there. That he could very well end up worse than what he was the last time. Maybe that was the cakewalk. The first 4 years, maybe the next 4 years will be 10 times worse for him. right? I think the more energy we give Trump, the more he can accomplish. I hope he's just gone so he's no longer a problem. Yes, I agree with you. The more energy that we put into it, yes. I also do feel as well, if you call him 45 and not 47, he will not be the 47 president. Like that as well. So that's always a possibility. And it was 11, 11, 11, 11, 11. 11 people in the group chat. It was also, when I said that, it was live and it was 11, 11, 11. And it was 11, 11 in this video. So yeah, that is a possibility. To say 45th, to call him 45th, it will be fine. Okay. Is it possible that Trump could be reelected again? We're going to act the card. Let's see. Yes or no, there's one card. Is it possible Trump could be reelected? Again, if you just want to jump to certain parts of this video, everything will be timestamped below. Could it be possible Trump could be reelected again, Spirits and Angels? Yes. Yes. His opponent will be a woman. Yes. Could Trump win re-election again? Without a coup, without attempting a coup again, right, which is why we have the 5 of Wands here reversed, an upright emperor, he will be president in this outcome here. We have here, he will not lose in this outcome. However, his candidate, the opponent that he runs against is going to be a woman, but also a male. So potentially it could be a gay male. Could be a gay male. So maybe like Pete Buttigieg. Could be very well like that. And it's reverse victory, which means that the Democrats here, who may win the popular vote but lose the electoral college again. I do see that outcome here. It's just a part of my dream in any way. Okay, the card did not flip. It went flip back up. It's in any way part of my dream. We have another woman reverse. It might be two young gay males running together. I don't know why. It could also be a woman, but I don't know. It doesn't tell me, but they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose by 5%. So maybe they're going to probably lose, but it could be by 5 electoral votes. It could be a very close election. It could be by 265 to 275. It'll be very close election. It could go either way. Maybe one state will be the one that decides who becomes president or not. It'll be very close though. Okay. Again, this is just possible outcomes. We're exploring it. In this case, it'll be 47, not anything else. In today's video, are there any possibilities that he can become president? That's the last question for today's video. Let's take a look. Is there any other possibilities for Trump to become president of the United States? No. So that's a coup. No, he would just have to do a coup. That's really what it is. The only other possibility here is just telling me a coup. Because we have the high priestess reverse doing the negative part, right? We have the Ace of Swords here, getting what he wants, trying to dethrone the person in power, which will be Biden in this case. With the reverse Knight of Pentacles, he will have to somehow do this without money. So potentially this is war, potentially secession, maybe become president of another country, which might mean that, maybe potentially Texas, just for example, breaks off and becomes its own country. He could become president of Texas, if that makes any sense. That could be why I talked about a foreign country. We have the strength card here. As long as his supporters are loyal to him specifically, he can do whatever he wants. And we have here, however, he will have a very hard time winning any election if he was to win again. But it's not to count out how many voters he gained, if that makes sense. And it does also not include how much interference there will be in any sort of election or influence at all. So again, I hope you do like today's video. Just again, if you don't want to manifest Trump at 47, just call him 45. It has the same power as keeping him down and no longer your president, so you don't have to worry. But I will say for the future though of the United States is very bright in terms of our democracy. However, the United States, as we know, it coming to an end, but a new one will begin. And by that, I think you could be very happy and very certain that a new America, a new era that we're entering into, a new governmental system that works for the people. So you can rest assured that it'll become more of a democratic process. When I read on whether or not it would become fascist or not, it had kind of like gave me a kind of no. It kind of felt like one of those big changes that's happening in America, that America kind of already was an authoritarian, fascist type power, just a very mild version of it. However, America is going to become more democratic, which means that your vote will matter a lot more in the future, and that you may have a new governmental system. Potentially, you may get rid of the Supreme Court, install a parliament, and a prime minister instead. So there are theoretically possible outcomes here that we can experience. All right, guys, I love you. I hope you have a very beautiful night. I'm going to leave some of your comments.
Alright, so welcome back. And now that you guys have watched it, and you clearly saw in the this little excerpt there, this video was called "Will Trump Be the 47th President?" Tarot card reading, which was recorded on March 15th of 2022. Was when this video in particular was recorded. There were two different excerpts from the beginning part of the video and the ending part of the video that I included in this, the video that you just saw. So with that being said, I want to be able to go over some of my notes about my interpretation, new interpretations that I got from that video. And you guys can let me know in the comment section below what you think I meant at the time when that was recorded. So for the first part of that question in which I was covering it, I talked and mentioned about the Queen of Swords reverse, and that actually later on became my Harris card, believe it or not, in 2024, but it was Nancy Pelosi's card in 2022. So that was, again, like I said, sometimes like I always say, the cards are never wrong, it's the interpreter that's wrong. Biden Harris ticket wins, but anything other than that, he doesn't. He does. So what it's saying is essentially the winning ticket formula that I was talking about was the Biden Harris ticket together. Had Biden not dropped out and just Biden's seat in the race, he would have likely won re-election. Democrats did give up and still refused to challenge the result prior to January 20th. So although I was saying that the Democrats might not, the Democrats did indeed give up. They just kind of kept very quiet leading up to the inauguration. However, well, we'll talk about the other part of them fighting later on and what that means. It says here, the reverse hierophant could be saying that Biden and Harris will be gone by the time Democrats start fighting. So we started to see that now in the energy. So it's indicating to us that although they lost the election, they're saying here that what I said back then was that they would not want to forfeit the election. Now I'm not sure if that is indicative of what's coming in 2026, or possibly there is going to be a fight with the Electoral College result, but it will be after Harris and Biden are out of office. So that would be interesting. I mentioned specifically establishment Democrats. So it means Democrats were established within the government framework rather than those like Biden and Harris, which will probably become more neutralized and kind of like won't be involved in this because it'll be too politicized if they do. Trump seizing power could be rigging the election. So we talk about Trump trying to seize power. It could be indicative of him trying to seize the election and control over it, or try to rig it, or possibly overthrowing the government through a constitutional coup before seizing power. So how and what does this constitutional coup basically stand, and how does it work? A constitutional coup is essentially you follow the rules of the Constitution, and once you get to the formality of being the person in power, then you can overthrow the Constitution for the reason the Constitution was able to get you there. So essentially, you use the rules of the Electoral College to get you to the presidency, but once you are now president, then you can abolish the Constitution that got you there in the first place. So that's essentially what a constitutional coup is. The last person to do it was Mussolini, up until modern day, which is Donald Trump. Okay. It could also be talking about a coup that starts once he takes power, as we're starting to see now. Might have indirectly said he doesn't need an election, he just needs a coup. So that is something that I also mentioned as well, that I kept saying that it doesn't necessarily he doesn't need an election. So regardless of what the outcome was, either way, it was always going to be a coup, rather than not. So I always said in the first time that a lot of you guys said, oh, well, like the Capitol, like did you see another January 6th? And I said, yes, I did. But I said it wasn't going to happen the way the January 6th was. It was going to be more behind the scenes. And this is kind of like the behind the scenes, which is the constitutional coup, which is kind of goes unnoticed and more under the radar than that of the militaristic one that we saw back in 2021. The young Democrat, Tulsi Gabbard, and RFK Jr. I talked about a young lesbian Democrat who is kind of like a Russian hack. I said it might have been Tulsi Gabbard. It seemed to be that's where we're heading right now. I also did get the energy of Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who is also a former Democrat who looks like he is in bed with Putin. The second part of that video as well, I mentioned that the opponent will be a woman. He is likely to win against her, what in this case was Harris. I said that a woman or a gay male. I realized the energy of tumult. So I felt like the gay male energy at the time might have been tumult, what I was indicating, because I kept saying woman, he's running against a woman, but then a gay man, and I just couldn't get the energy correct. It makes sense though, because Harris is more of that woman with a masculine energy, whereas tumult is that man with a feminine energy. So it's like, it was the exact opposite. To me, my interpretation based on my own experience, I was comparing it to what I felt familiarized with, which were two gay men. Which in retrospect, they were not gay men. It was just Harris and Tim Walz, which had kind of polar opposite energy native to their gender. I thought that was interesting. Okay, so the Democrats win the popular vote, but lose the electoral college, is what I said. However, Harris actually won, but was stolen from her. Therefore, they lost the electoral college, and the votes were never really counted. So we don't really necessarily know whether or not she won or lost the popular vote, so we cannot make that determination. But we can indeed say that the electoral college was quote unquote stolen, which is this data just for entertainment purposes only. Okay, so I said here that the margin was going to be between 265 and 275 and was extremely close, what the polls have indicated. It was extremely close even up until the popular margin was still very close even at the final tally, and they will lose by 5% or 5 states or by whatever, number 5. Honestly, I looked for number 5, couldn't find it anywhere. So I don't know what that means. Maybe we find out sometime down in the future when maybe the real result is out. But until then, there's that. It was actually ironic because 265 to 275 was the margin that they were expecting if Harris was to win, would win between that within that margin, and the same thing for Donald Trump if they were both to win. They were expecting like 276, the highest margin. So it was off by one electoral vote if that was the actual way it went. The next one is the other clip that I showed you was the only outcome I saw. I said I would be. I cannot even speak right now. Okay, so the other plausibility and possibility, what the other clip was indicating, was that the only other outcome that I saw at the time would only be a coup. And I asked, well, what is the pathway for 45 to become president? And essentially said only through a coup. Was it exactly kind of what happened? There was no other outcome that was there. There was just every outcome included a coup, a formality of a coup. The next one said, do. So I said here he does this without money. What I later end up understanding now is that he used Elon's money and immediate influence and won against and did a war against the Biden administration by using Elon's influences and money. So necessarily I said that he doesn't use his own money. I said he doesn't use money, but that doesn't necessarily count that someone else is using money on his behalf. Okay, so the other one I said a foreign country meant perhaps Elon Musk's influence. Now that I'm realizing I kept saying foreign country instead of saying Russia. I never mentioned Russia. I just said that there was a foreign country here. Later turned out it might have been Elon Musk with his foreign allegiance to South Africa, especially the apartheid in South Africa. Um, yeah, and I also mentioned for some reason that they could be a leader of like another country or state secession. Not necessarily true in any way or fashion, but in essence, Elon is still very much loyal to South Africa in some capacity, but to the old South Africa, not to the new one. And then it says here he needs a loyal base or loyal supporters in order to do whatever he wants. As long as his supporters are loyal to him and they don't sway away from him, 45 will continue to do whatever he wants. And then the last one is he would lose many elections after winning the 2024 election, but mentioned he would gain a lot of voters. So I mentioned that he was going to gain a lot more voters than that of the 2020 election indirectly, and that in the same time when I said that he was going to win, this will be the last winning election for him. But he will gain a lot of voters, which would be more significant. Which is kind of like what happened. Like he got like I think 77 million voters, a lot more than expected, and there's that. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that clip. Now let's do our portion video, and let's go and take a look and see when the coup ended. So at least the intro wasn't too long, which is good. All right, so let's go and take a look. I wanted to put this on the ground. I don't feel like setting everything up just to dismantle it because I really want to go to bed. So I don't feel like doing anything too special. So I hope you guys don't mind the floor for today. All right, so Spirit Angels, tell me about 45 just had to make his word here. Okay, so Spirit Angels, tell me, when will the coup in the U.S. end? And it's ironic that the woman on the bottom and Trump 45 on the top. What's the odds of that happening? That's not planned. When is the coup in the U.S. going to end? Or how will it end? Let's go there. How will it end? Okay, the first thing is we have the Chariot card. Something's moving fast-paced challenge. Challenging domestic. So there's something domestic going on. With the Queen of Pentacles. The decision has been made. The Page of Pentacles. Fighting. Tower card on the bottom. We have here, it's not because of the death, it doesn't end because someone dies. If that's what you're asking. This is the Ace of Cups reverse with the presidency. And here we have things raining down on the presidency. And here we have the Ace of Cups. Something gets handed over, the Ace of Pentacles, and it's the White House. And who does it get handed over to? Not 45, which is the devil, but a revelation, somebody new. Could be J.D. Vance, because J.D. Vance is new. He is that young male, but let's take a look and see who is in front of it. We have consciousness, someone who's brighter, more knowledgeable, and it's a woman. So possibly it's indicating to me that because I don't feel like it's going to be, if 45 is removed and it's the end of Q, J.D. Vance will be part of that Q essentially. So it says here, someone of higher knowledge, higher understanding, and it's going to be a female, which is the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so that is how it would end. So the next person who will really be the real president will be a woman. But, yeah. Now, you guys are probably asking me, if I knew that 45 was going to win all along, why did I make the claim that Pirates was going to win? That is essentially because I saw how the results was going to go, and I kept getting red, but my intuition kept saying blue, blue. And I trusted my intuition, and I knew that Harris was going to win, despite knowing that Trump was going to be the clear winner. What's ironic, though, and I kept saying this many times, you guys heard me many times if you were helping with me for quite a while, I kept saying that the person who's elected president will not be the one who goes in as president. It recently hit me last Sunday. I finally understood what it might have meant. That Harris would be elected president, but would not become the next president. Because in my head, I thought, oh, we want 45 to be elected president so he doesn't become president. What I didn't realize was that meant by my spirit guides was that, oh, the person who's a rightfully elected president would not become president because it was stolen. And that was what it meant the entire time. That's what they meant. And I just didn't get it until Sunday, months later after the election. I wish I had known it sooner. And I apologize for those of you guys who, um, I didn't know that. I would have told you. But I'm sorry I wasn't able to put the two together. But anyway, let's go back. Let's take a look and see what the cards are saying. We're asking, how will it end? Here we have domestic, right? So this is the United States. So whatever's happening domestic is happening fast-paced. The challenge to this row here is fast-paced energy. So how will the coup end in the United States? Well, the first thing is we have something going on with domestic and has to do with the economy, which is represented here as the Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles is how the people view the economy, the image that Republicans are good for the economy. This is what starts the fracture of Trump's image. Remember, we talked about in my reading today from 2022, we talked about how in order for Trump to be able to do whatever he wants, he needs to be able to have the loyal base of his supporters. He needs to be able to have the loyal base of his supporters. That is what he needs. And that is what he really needs in order to be able to get to where he wants to go. Now we have here a decision has been made. What is that decision? It's tax cuts. These are corporations. The first thing I got here was tax cuts. Tax cuts, corporation. Money. This is important because why is it essential? Because it's just the page of pentacles. The reason why it's important is because here's the economy. Right? People view the economy in a very specific manner, in a very specific way. But the economy is struggling. People are looking at the economy as a judgment on 45's ability to be able to grow the economy or his promise on the economy. People are going to start judging him because they're going to start to see the economy going down while he's giving out tax cuts to the wealthy. But they themselves are not seeing those same benefits that he promised them in order to win and become president. Here you have pushback, resistance, right? This is resistance from the Democrats. It's also being protest. People going in the media kind of revealing the truth and everything like that. Resistance. Don't obey, don't comply, to keep resisting. Right? That's also how it ends. Here we also have the world card here. The world card is saying that, the world gets turned upside down. Everything that we knew and loved and took for granted gets turned upside down. Everything, the main structure of everything in here in the US has to be turned upside down. Nothing can be left standing. If the coup needs to end, nothing can be left standing. Nothing. Anything you can and will be thinking of, it will be gone or it will be dismantled or it will be replaced or it just will be destroyed in some capacity, in some form. How does the coup end? It needs to be finalized. Essentially, think of it this way. It essentially is like it's like an earthquake, a giant earthquake here in the U.S. Right? It's shaking, and the foundation, the building, are rocking and rocking and rocking, and as it keeps doing so, a lot of structures that are really fragile fall first. The one with the most structure will take a little longer, which is why we need to be able to ensure that in order for the coup to end, it needs to be able to destroy all of it. That's its whole purpose. The whole purpose of the coup is to destroy everything in the United States. And this makes sense because it's aligned with the United States birth chart and sole purpose. The Harris presidency wouldn't be able to do that because Harris presidency will stabilize the structure in a time of needing for major revival and major upheaval. So I studied many times in the past that if, just say, a Democrat were to be in position of power, I would rather prefer a Republican because a Republican will be one term over a Democrat. Right? So would you rather have a one-term Democrat or a one-term Republican? I think we all know what we would rather choose to have as a one-term. In order to be able to receive that, we need to be able to have a dynamic where we're able to understand, oh, okay, so this is what's going on here. Now we need to be able to fix this. We need to be able to go ahead and figure out how can we solve the issues and how can we build it back on the ground up, which is really important because if you want Universal healthcare. You can't have universal healthcare because people are like, they're going to vote against it and say, well, we already have healthcare. Why do we need to change it? Why fix what's not broken? But now it's broken. Why not just do it? You know what I mean? That's the aura, that's the energy. That's why I said that although we're entering our very darkest periods here in the US, we will have a very bright spot ahead in the future. So there is that rebuilding phase, but right now we're in that deconstruction phase because in order to really see something build back better, you need to see everything get destroyed to appreciate the good that comes out of it, right? For example, the K19 disaster with the K9 disaster, I think is what it's called, with the asteroid with the dinosaurs, right? The dinosaurs got wiped out by the asteroid, right? With this all the acid and stuff like that. It wiped and killed almost 97% of all of Earth's life organisms, but life still went on and became to create multiple different animals that we love and know today. So there's a lot of good things that, although things can be very dark, darkness won't ever be forever. And I want you to make sure you understand that. Okay, going back to the reading though, because we are still talking about, okay, so we're asking, how did the coup end? Well, let's take more of a deeper look and let's take a deeper dive. We have here underneath the domestic and the Queen of Pentacles, what she's holding on to, the power of the economy. It has to do with the Emperor, which is 45. Why it is important, why it is significant, it also has to do with the influence of money under 45 and his power to use money as an advantage. This has to do with tariffs. Underneath here, we have the Queen of Pentacles with the decision that has been made. The decision that has been made is something with the DOJ or how the Justice Department and how Congress and the checks and balances of government is impartial. So how does the coup end? The coup end is when the Emperor seizes power while Congress power diminishes to almost nothing. People, as I know, and I will definitely say this 100% without a doubt, and I got this in my other reading if you have not already watched it, but essentially, the Democrats and the Republicans will team up together in Congress to push out 45 because they don't like the idea of them losing power and control, which makes them irrelevant. They don't want to be irrelevant. So they will do whatever they can to push out 45. It's a ticking time bomb for 45. That's why 45 is moving as fast as it can to try to consolidate as much power as possible because the Democrats and the Republicans will team up against 45. And yes, you heard that right. 45. Remember, power is what drives politicians here in Washington D.C. Not 45. 45 is the theatrical aspect. It's what helped them get power. But when you start threatening their own control and own power, that is when they start to turn against you. 45 is getting close to that point. Okay, let's go and take a look back again. Here underneath here, we have the decision has been made with tax cuts and corporation betrayal, which means the betrayal of the people, but also betrayal of corporation and things that he agreed to, which under certain terms and conditions that he agreed with other people, even corporations and other foreign entities and governments. So definitely expect him not to keep his word. And sometimes him not keeping his word with certain people will definitely backfire heavily. Specifically, I'm getting like a world leader and he's making a deal with them and he backs out of it or he betrays them in some way and they kind of piss them off. It has to do with somebody who is more of a ferocious style foreign entity or foreign leader who's going to go after 45 if he tries to pull this stunt with them. Think of them more like a gang member or a mafia ringleader than that of a normal diplomacy style leader that 45 would be dealing with. Here on the next card that comes after the Page of Pentacles, which is in between the Page of Pentacles and the Eight of Cups reversed, which means resistance, the fighting. 45 will not leave because of the fighting or the resistance. He won't, and that's just how it's going to go. But essentially, the Eight of Cups is essentially that the only way for him to be out is he needs to be pushed out, essentially. So I would not be surprised if one day we're going to see a scenario where he gets handcuffed and gets dragged out of the White House. Underneath here, being pushed away, being pushed back, we have the Six of Wands with the World's card reversed. This is telling me that also causing many wars and trying to create this sense of false illusion, this false idea that, oh, I'm going to create a problem and then try to solve the problem. but that world gets turned upside down because the more problems you create to try to make yourself appear as a hero or a godlike figure, you're going to essentially create a dynamic where all these problems start affecting one another and it starts to become uncontrollable and uncontainable, which is represented here in the World's card. And the final card that comes in as a new leader was at the page of 1, new progression, a little bit of growth among the sick. A lot of people would say a sick is like a dead branch. When you take a sick and it's not attached to something live, it starts to die, right? It starts to wither away. It starts to become like a dead branch. It becomes dormant or, just dead. And it's in the middle of a desert. But this is a man here who's holding this wand and he sees a little bit of growth coming out. Despite the despite the understanding of everything around, despite the circumstances at play, no matter how dead things seem, no matter how dark things can seem, things will start to bloom even when you least expect it. That's a good thing. That's a good message. That toward the end, a new leader will start to bring it out of it. That's how this ends. Now that we know the story of how it ends and how the 45 and the whole shebang gets there, we're going to take a quick look now at when will it end? I think that would be very important for us to really take a quick look at and kind of get an eyeball for where we're looking at and what to expect over the next couple of years or even months or days or weeks. We don't know exactly how long this is going to last, but this is a 45 coup. We're not talking about an Elon coup. We're talking about a 45 coup. I will have to do a separate video on how and when Elon coup is going to end. This is just kind of talking about the general governmental coup that is orchestrated by 45 and his adversaries on a wider, grander level, not Elon Coup, that was his own endeavors and his own ambition. We're talking about the overall ambitions here in the U.S. So there's that. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's do our next part of this video. Alright, so the next part of this video we're going to ask now is that when will the coup end? Oh look, there's a tarot card. Spirit Angels tell me, when will the U.S. coup end here in the U.S.? When will the coup end under 45 end? When will the coup end in the U.S. under 45's presidency? Okay, so we have the Emperor, which is 45 reverse. Okay, when will the coup end under 45? Okay, so we have this. When will the coup in the United States end under 45's presidency? Felon 45. I'm here in May of next year. They are saying now that Trump time is coming towards an end. That's for sure. Could we have the Wheel of Fortune here with the King of Pentacles for Trump? And we have here the Queen of Pentacles. This has to do with the economy again. So they're telling me I'm getting my right ear. This when the economy strikes 12, that's when you know it ends. That's what I'm hearing. When the economy strikes 12, that's when you know it ends. That doesn't make sense because the economy can't strike something, nor does it act like a lightning bolt. I don't understand that. Let me see. Let me see if maybe I can look it up online and see if maybe it can tell me when the economy hit 12. Okay, I don't know what that means. Okay, it says here. Okay, if you ask about the 12th largest economy in the world, then Australia is the answer. In 2024, Australia had a GDP of 1.69 trillion, making it the 12th largest economy in the world. Maybe, just maybe, this is just by what I'm assuming it could be meaning. But I'm asking, okay, the economy hit 12. like almost like 12 midnight is essentially what it's telling me. This here says the number 12 ranking will be 1.69 trillion US dollars in the country of Australia. So what if maybe it means that the United States, the United States economy needs to fall to the 12th section of the world economy globally, right? It might become the 12th global economy. It might be behind Australia even. So maybe it needs to fall in terms of economic ranking. Now, we're going to see the economy hit strike 12. I'm going to use the proper wording here. Strike 12. Okay, in October 2024, the U.S. economy added 12,000 jobs, which was the slowest growth since 2020. This number was significantly lower than that expected of 100,000 job increase. It does not really tell me what does it mean. So I guess we won't really know until it happens what it means when the clock strikes, when the economy strikes 12. We will know when it ends. I don't know what that means. And maybe if you guys can help me encode it, maybe those of you guys who are like economic geniuses or financial geniuses, let me know in the comment section below. I have no idea. Under here though, we're asking, well, when will it end? We have the Emperor reverse, and the Emperor is 45. So this is the ending of 45. We know this because on the right side of him heading towards the future, because this is the future side, this is the past. The King of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune is indicating that 45 time is coming towards an end, especially regarding his presidency. However, heading towards the future from the past, something gets rained down on him because of something that he did from the past before he became the emperor. So he became the emperor around this point. This is him after he's no longer emperor because of something that happened here. So this is kind of like the quadrant. I'm going to break it up for you. This is him before he became inaugurated. This is him now. This is him after. And this is his future, and this is the outcome. And I don't know what that is yet. So that's essentially the breakdown. So this card here being the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the 8 of Wands, kind of reverse, heading towards the past way, but facing towards the future. It's telling me something from his past between the time of when he was elected president until January 2020. It's going to come back and resurface, and it's going to something that's going to strike him during his time in office. However, here we have the Ace of Pentacles. And the Ace of Pentacles is an opportunity, something being handed to him, but it is a false illusion to this inauguration. He was handed the control of the presidency when he shouldn't have been handed the control of the presidency because he was not the one who was the rightful winner. Underneath that, we have the Eight of Cups because he was not willing to leave and not willing to step back, which is why he became the leader in the first place. Now that his term has ended, here we have the Emperor at 45 is now reversed, and underneath that we have the Fool. The Fool is gone. He fell over the bridge, is what I'm getting. He fell over the bridge. Here, people are not celebrating now. So even when he's gone, they're not celebrating. So the end of the coup, and when will it end, essentially, is saying that, well, people are still not celebrating. Could possibly maybe 45 is gone, but maybe J.D. Vance is now in, right? And that could be why people are still not celebrating it. But we have here on the right side here because they want her, which is the Queen of Pentacles, which we all know this is normally not my Harris card, but in this aspect it is. I'm also hearing Liz Cheney, so maybe there's efforts for Liz Cheney somewhat. But here we have again, people want her, they know what happened to Ballas because on the ground it's shaky, which is the Three of Pentacles, which is the people. They want her. This is Harris, right? Harris is in the future. For while 45 is gone, J.D. Vance comes in, people are not celebrating because 45 term or his time has ended. Here is Harris here. Maybe the information is revealed because this means that they're throwing out the ballots. They're throwing out the ballot away, and this is what that could be meaning, that this is Harris being right here, her being the Queen of Pentacles. Because we have her pentacle here, she's holding the pentacle. But the Ace of Pentacles, when Trump was inaugurated, he had the pentacle, but it was in reverse because it wasn't really his to begin with. So they're both holding the pentacle, right? Because he, at the time when his time was up, he had that pentacle that was given to him on Inauguration Day, right? Harris had the pentacle because maybe possibly by the time sometime in the future, after 45 is gone, we find out about the results possibly, and that could be why she comes in closer towards the future. And what is heading towards the future? We have here the Boolean type energy starts to end. It doesn't tell me a time frame here though. It doesn't give me a time frame. Let me see if I can get a time frame here. We have the ceiling ends, the end of the ceiling, right? Though it felt like it was slow moving, we were able to get that final desired outcome. The cliffhanger come to an end, the Knight of Cups. And then we have here, although it's not a happy celebration because it's kind of cup because of all the destruction happening in government, which is the highest in reverse. However, there is a bright spot amidst the darkness, right? And what is that bright spot? We have here, we start to be able to rebuild back better. We revisit the past. We revisit the past. Here on the top of the deck, though, we have the Lovers card, which is the Biden-Harris card, followed by, they struggle for quite a bit with their messaging and be able to help the people in a way which they would be able to really recognize. Here we have the Ten of Wands, which means there's a struggling here of the people were under 45, which is the conservative card. There's also J.D. Vance, by the way. And here we have, although J.D. Vance won't be defeated in this aspect here, which is the Ace of Swords reverse, we have here, he won't be chosen by the people come the next election. So I feel like J.D. Vance is going to be on the ticket in 2028. And here we have the Six of Wands. He won't win. He won't win. Because he's running against a very competitive race. And who's he running against? We don't know yet. But it looks like to me it could be a female. But there's an opportunity for a young male to actually go up against him. But it's undetermined at this point in time. It feels like Harris still has not made her decision whether or not she's running in 2028. So I guess that is why the card is still up and undetermined for the Democratic Party side towards the end. So what I'm going to do now that we were not able to get a clear answer, we were able to get some more information about how the coup ends and all that type of thing and the storyline there. We're now going to take a quicker look and kind of like spread out each month for one card per each month and kind of see if maybe we can get a better understanding of how the coup ends and what month is what. Maybe we'll get a better answer. Maybe we'll be able to see things that maybe we're not getting from these cards now. So that's how we're going to do it. And then we'll end the video and I will finally sleep. Alright. And just so you guys want to know, just in case you're probably all wondering, it is now 3 o'clock in the morning. It is 3:02 a.m. on Saturday, February 8th. So, yeah, it's quite late in the night, or early, depending on however you perceive it. But right now in California, it's just like midnight, so that's fun. Okay. So Spirit Angels tell me, give me the next 12 months of the United States under a coup. What are the next 12 months going to look like under the coup and when will it end? Tell me if it ends sometime this year within the next 12 months. Give me all the cards that describe what's going on with the coup and when will it end? When will it end? Okay, let me know when to stop shuffling. Tell me when to stop shuffling. Okay, they tell me now to go. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Whatever. I can't keep anything straight. Okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm feeling now that we're going to start in February of this year, this month, and then we're going to go into January of next year. Okay. And this is kind of the year of the Chinese snake. So I don't really expect the coup to end sometime in the year of the Chinese snake. Rather, more than not, it's probably going to be towards the end of next year. But let's go and take a look. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we got the Three of Cups reversed in the month of February. The Judgment card in reverse for the month of March. For April, we have Temperance reverse. For May, we have Five of Wands reverse. For June, we have the Ace of Wands reverse. I don't know why I had a stroke. Yeah, because we have February, March, April, May, June, July. July, which we have the Knight of Pentacles upright, followed by the Two of Swords, which is August. For September, we have the Six of Wands reverse. Then the month of October, we have the Two of Cups reverse. Okay. And the month of November, we have the Presidency reverse. The Presidency upright, the Star card. On the month of December, we have the Four of Cups upright. And then in the month of January of next year, we have the 45 in reverse. So we're asking, when is the coup going to end in the US? I'm trying to analyze the cards right now. So we have the Three of Cups reverse. In the month of February right now, we have a lack of celebration. So no, it won't end anytime this month. I'm going to say no. No to February of this year. For the month of March, which is the Judgment card. Again, no for March. For April, I'm going to say no because the Temperance card reverse. It's a no. Then we have here February, March, April, May. May, we have the Five of Wands reverse. No. For March, May, June. In June, we have the Ace of Wands reverse. It's a no. Okay. For I keep forgetting. I don't remember anything off the top of my head. February, March, April, May, June, July. In the month of July, we have something gets halted in terms of the coup. So maybe there is a temporary pause. Maybe there's a blockage to its ability to move. But there is a block in the month of July. And then in the month of August, there's a decision that's made possibly by the court. And it is not a loss for the coup. It continues. So whatever it is that there's a block in the month of June, right? June, right? February, March, April, May, June, July. So there's a block that comes in right after, toward the end of June, early July. And then it gets held up in the court. The court decides it. Come August, it does not end the coup. The coup continues into September. September is the agreement between the people. It's also now, so now not any time in September. However, towards the what to call it? Towards excuse me, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. In the month of November, there are some special elections. I guess there is an election here that's happening, or something a little bit bigger that's happening towards the month of November. That is a win for the presidency, but also a win for the democracy. So there's a win here, so something to do with two elections happening in November. I think I'm getting pulled towards like Virginia and New Jersey. So is this for the Republicans or for the Democrat spirit? For the Democrats, so there might be two Democratic victories in New Jersey and Virginia in this year towards the month of November. But that's what I'm getting there. I don't see anything with the coup here. However, we do have heading toward with that mobilization and enthusiasm that comes in November, we have entered into December where people are like, okay, there's the opportunity to stop the coup. but it kind of gets held back, or they just don't see the opportunity to stop the coup. The coup continues. We have here the devil card. Underneath the devil card is 45 in the month of January. We're going to take a look now and see what's going on in January of 2026 onwards. I don't see anything really happening within the coup this year. I feel like the coup kind of continues. The energy kind of seems more stable. They do get blocked towards the mid parts of this year, but then they get continued and they just get the go ahead and they keep continuing. Other than that, there's really no blockages for the coup at this time in the U.S. government. Now, it's interesting though because I did say in November that there was going to be a victory for the presidency. Now, the victory for the presidency, and currently right now, the person in the power is 45, essentially. But the real person who won the presidency is Harris. So possibly the November election is referring to if this is right and the assumption is correct here, it might just indicate that, okay, although 45 is the president, it's a win for the presidency, it might just be a win for the Democrats, and therefore it's a win for the real Harris administration, which does not even exist in this reality yet. But the other side effect is that maybe it's a win for the presidency because maybe they rig it against the Democrats, right? There was a reason why I said what I said accidentally. It was not on purpose, by the way. So Spirit Angels tell me about the year 2026. Will it finally be the end of the coup in the United States? Will the coup end in 2026? Show me the next. So show me the next 11 months because we already have January. Okay, they're telling me to put the January one in, so I guess I want to put it in. Okay, show me the next 12 months from January 2026 all the way to December 2026 for the U.S. coup in the U.S. government. Will there be an ending to the coup within the 12 months of 2026? Am I ready to stop shuffling? Okay, tell me to stop, flip it back. Okay, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. I figured I'd do it this way because it's 6-6, so I can't get confused because I got confused. How embarrassing. Here we have the three pentacles, and then we have here the midterms here on the bottom. Then on the top we have the female, which is the 9 of pentacle, which means great fortune. Okay, let's see. I think this year might be the year actually, just based on that card on top. Okay, so we have here in the month of July, excuse me, ignore me. In the month of January, we have the Page of Swords. No, it does not end in the year of the beginning month of January for the ending of the coup. It does not. It continues. We have here in the month of February of 2026, there's some sort of unpredictability. It could not. But let's take a look at the next month in March. It might give us an answer for what's happening in February. We have here justice. So possibly February, let's take a look. Let's see what's going on in April. Something's fast paced. We have here last ditch effort. We have here manifestation, trying to wield your last power. Okay, I think I know. I think I got it. Okay, if I was to pinpoint it, something major starts to happen in the month of February. Something that starts to seem rocky, like rocky foundation for the coup in the U.S. government in the month of February of 2026. Something starts to get brought to light, or the demand of justice in the month of March. Something gets fast-tracked in the month of April of 2026. And then they do a last-ditch effort to try to clean out the government and try to hide the evidence in the month of May. Then come June, they try and wield the final power of the presidency, which is June. of 2026. Here you have 45 with the Emperor, right? So he's still in as president as what's it called? In July of 2025, which happened, 2026, or the coup, because they start talking about the coup in general, so it doesn't necessarily mean that this person could be 45, it could be Vance, it doesn't matter, it's one of those two, or it could be even Elon, whatever, it's one of those three, okay, but it's going to be one of the three here. Now, why is it important, why is it significant, this being in the month of July, is that is when the United States hit its 250th birthday, which means the end of the empire in the month of July, which is indicated here as the emperor. After that point, the United States had to hit the milestone of 250 years old, and then you start to see the collapse, 100%. And you start to see a collapse of the coup. Here we have the full card. No longer the illusion is here. It has ended in the month of August. Going into September, we have revelation, reveal, something new's happening. So I'm going to say it feels like it starts to slowly, the energy starts shifting away from the coup over time within the month of February all the way through June. Well, actually, yeah, February all the way through July of 2026. So the beginning parts of 2026, and then towards the end of 2026, it ends. Here we have the Fool card reversed, followed by the Sun card, followed by the Wheel of Fortune, once it's ending again. So if it didn't end here, it's definitely ending here, which is July, August, September, October. So it's going to end between October and September. You start to see them losing support or having in the polls in the month of August. But in the month of September, with revelation, new thing, new beginning, new pathways open up. The timing has ended for the coup. It ends in the month of October, but it's going to be within a three-month time span. It's going to take 3 months. So I'll probably say it starts in August. It really ramped up in the month of October. Then we have a new consciousness in the month of November of 2026, but there's no celebration with the Three of Cups here reversed because there's no celebration for the people who did the coup. And that is why we have the Great Fortune here, which is the Great Fortune for the United States. Now the United States can start healing. So what is happening that was big, and what is that dark energy toward the end of 2026? It's that new shift dynamic that's happening in the U.S. and the ending of the coup. And nothing goes easy when the coup ends, right? When anything ends and there's a control on something, dominance on something, and that's something that does not want to let go willingly, they're going to hold on as close as they can. And it's going to be messy, it's going to be gross, it's going to be hasty, it's going to be volatile, it's going to be dangerous. But eventually they will have to let go. And that is why we're going to go through some difficult periods going from February into June. But then it really takes them to facts, it takes them to real big place in the month of July, and it just steamrolls to basically zero towards the end of next year. So that's what I'm getting. I'm going to say that the coup ends next year, but towards the later end. So I guess, we're in the month of February now, so I would probably say another year we'll start to see trend of the coup dying and dissipating, but it will take months before it really dies down. We'll look more into this as we get closer, and we'll try to see if we can gain more new knowledge and newer insight. But I felt like this was a really interesting read for today. So if you guys liked today's video, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, don't forget to share the video with others, and I appreciate all of you guys so much. So until next time, I'll see you again soon. Peace out, and I love you. And sorry that I was kind of like quiet at a point. My brain just lost itself and I'm exhausted. And I'm also lethargic from thirsty because I lost all the water because the vent was on running, and so all the hot air just going in my mouth, drying me up. Anyway, without further ado, I love you. Have a great night. Until then, I'll see you again soon. Peace out.